Hi guys, how we're going? So the update has literally just dropped at the time of playing, and it's interesting. A few buttons have changed. So we've got things on different loadouts, but the dirt has been the main focus of this update today, which has been interesting because if I try and dig a big old scoop, before I used to come out of this with a bucket piled quite high, and now it doesn't seem to pile as high as it feels. It goes more level with the bucket now. If you guys have this game and you play through for a little while, you'll see what I mean. You'll notice that the more scoops that you get, the more just kind of level the bucket is rather than piled up high. We do have a new dirt lock, a new reworked dirt lock, and we also have the manual dirt lock back. I can't say I've really noticed much the manual dirt lock doing anything drastic compared to the normal dirt lock. If anything, the manual dirt lock just seems to kind of hold dirt on the outside of the bucket now rather than on the inside of the bucket. So what I'll do, if I can, which I can't, is break into here, which seems to have changed since the update. You used to be able to kind of break more dirt before the update. Now after the update, you seem to hit a bit more of an abrupt stop. This is a more expected bucket load that I've noticed so far. So you don't particularly get a huge amount in there. It just looks like it's more of a level load. Don't know. When it comes to that there dirt lock, I can't really say that I've noticed an awful lot. So again, if I try and pile into the dirt, it's tricky to know when to use the dirt lock, to be fair. So let's use it here. So dirt lock is on. I scoop up, I come out, and with the dirt lock on I should be able to tip. But you notice how all the stuff's underneath the bucket? That's more what the dirt lock does. So if I tip the bucket now, you see that it all stays in there? That's the joys of the dirt lock. If I don't have the dirt lock on, I'd be dumping that all over the place. So that manual dirt lock can help sometimes if you're going over like absolutely crazy terrain. You might get a little bit better off with it. You see here, dirt lock, I've now turned it off, and all the stuff on the front of the bucket falls when I bump it around a bit. But yeah, dirt lock is back. Now, the biggie, the one thing that I have noticed that has so far had the biggest change. Now bearing in mind I've only got two pieces of equipment here. The bulldozer. Now this is slightly unfortunate, but I think it's what happens when various tweaks go in. This is a bulldozer, and this is lots of terrain. If I just line my bulldozer up to push around, you'll see what happens. So you see, the bulldozers are a little bit OP once again, in that nothing really holds them back anymore. So yeah, we now have a new tunneling machine, which is just a little bit unfortunate really that it is what it is. I've got myself stuck as well. But currently the bulldozers have gone backwards to be overpowered, whereas before they were underpowered. There needs to be a happy medium somehow, and I'm guessing it's quite tricky to find, because the guys have had a few goes at this and it sort of circles back round to being either or. There doesn't seem to be that middle ground just yet that they've found that works. There's no sweet spot. It's just something that feels underpowered, or it's just something that will just move mountains and be overpowered. So that's quite a tricky one. It makes it, oh god, like this here, a little bit tricky for when you're trying to make roads, because you end up in a situation where the dozer's blade just digs into the earth and you're no longer following the shape of the earth. You're just cutting straight through it. Big old chunk straight into it. So it is worth noting the bulldozers are a little bit crazy at the minute. Hopefully that'll change at some point. Hard to say when, to be fair. It is what it is. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. It's got to wiggle that blade so we're not going up and down. Whereas this was nice and you know, relatively smooth before. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's going to make it a little bit tricky to try and get it back to how it was. But some people, you know, you'll have a need and a reason to use a dozer that absolutely monsters through dirt like it does. If it is something that you can use, then awesome. If it is not something that you use, just be aware of it. A little bit wild. But it does mean that I should be able to do this little bit of a road across to that other ore easy enough. Just got to be careful with it, really. So as not to make any holes that we don't want to make. Have any big dips and divots or whatever. There we go. Right, so we are up here. So if I bring this down, try and get this laid in a decent position, should be okay there. Just casually go forwards. Starting to go down though, I noticed. It's a lot more active on the steering straight away, which is pretty good. Not a little too active maybe. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So just carving a great big path straight through everywhere. Seems effortless. I keep stopping because I'm adjusting the blade up and down, trying to get it somewhat level, somewhat smooth or flat. But yeah, it just powers on through. Gobbles it up like it's nothing. And gets us here. Jolly good. Still don't really know how I'm going to go about this. Maybe we could put a bend in here. Get some more blocks down. Make it a little bit more road-like. Might have to widen this up as well, which will be easy with the dozer in its current situation. Should be relatively easy indeed. But yeah, it's just one of those things really. Need to bring this gradient down a little bit so we can get around this corner better. Rather than just going plunk straight down flat. Corners are tricky. Corners are tricky. I get myself stuck again. I wonder. Got a little bit of cash, so what I'm going to try and do. Don't know how smart it'd be. So if we're here and this road comes around here, or might have to nibble through the ore, I kind of want to go off into this direction. So it's a little bit more downhill. I want to get to the bottom of this here and then maybe we've got 8 blocks left. Sort of square us up a bit this way. Trees everywhere, can't see the wood for the trees. So I want to widen this out. What, we can remove a couple of these, move these two. It's a better sweeping angle. Yeah, hopefully, something like that anyway. Something like that. I mean, I've only used the 2 things. I've not used any excavators or anything to see how they behave. But my initial feeling feels that the wheel loader needs a little bit more power, so when you're kind of going into a face, it has a little bit more push to it, so it feels that you can get a more of a bite on the bucket. And obviously, as you can see, the dozer feels like it massively needs a little bit of a reduction in power. This is what I was wanting to do the other day, actually, just scrape the side of the wall a little bit, but obviously with this, to this extent, it's a little bit too much. I think a lot of people might be happier with the dozer because it feels like it does have a purpose again. It doesn't feel underpowered. I guess that's a big problem for everybody, that underpoweredness of the dozer. Now to be greeted with an overpoweredness of the dozer. Ooh. I'm really going to have fun trying to struggle this corner on. I can just feel it now. Interesting, all that turning that I was doing earlier seems to have just died out. They're trying to swing this around here is proving a little bit tricky. But as long as we keep nibbling at it a little bit at a time, we should get it. Keep our eye on the money as well. We want that payments to be made and we don't want to go too broke. We want to keep out those minuses as much as we can. So it's all well and good while we're playing with this, but we do have to be mindful of our money. There are also some controls actually to change the speed that you earn XP and the sort of harshness of the loan. I haven't touched them. They are on their default. And our loan seems to be really cheap now. And the XP is on fast. So that seems to be where it's at by default. So that might please a lot of people. Come on, turn the corner. But they are, yeah, they're 2 new different settings that we've got. So if you are struggling, or if you want a bit more of a challenge, those options are also there to make the game either easier or harder. So you can have a little bit more of a challenge, or you can have a little bit more of an easy way out, which I think is good for new players or, you know, people who are struggling. I know that on the old maps, when you didn't have the coal power plant, having the ability to get XP faster, that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. So maybe that could be something that could work for some of the old places that we've been. Could revisit them, not feel so bogged down by the XP grind. I don't honestly know how they work, so I don't know what is classed as fast. The only way you find that out is just by doing it, I guess. There we go, that's what I was trying to do. It's just trying to tickle that bit of a corner down there just so we could try and almost get into a little bit straighter. There we go. Cool. This weird little humpy bit in a minute, so I'll try again, have another stab at it, come down from above, bring it round in the slope. But you get the idea here with the roads. Or at least maybe you do. And we're trying to get towards the bottom of that seam of coal that comes up here. Maybe we should just come straight out here actually as well. Too many things, too many options. We could almost like have this as a, I would say a junction, but it won't be a junction as such. And it's also going to be incredibly tight to try and go down here with anything. Get out of the way. Don't want it to be this steep. So I need a lot more of this stuff. Bring it down. Oops, steady Teddy. Drive it in. There we go. Look at it. It's just a bit too much sometimes, but it's definitely going to help us try and do what we've got to do here. Stuck again. So I'm going to continue to battle this as much as I can. Try and make sense of it really, and maybe we get a road out of it. Maybe we don't. Hard to say. Hard to know which direction it's going, in all honesty. I don't want to take too much away from that corner, else it's going to be a really heavy drop down. I definitely need to make the slope down more than it is doing, but I don't want to go crazy with it. Just a process really of taking those passes and just running your passes over it. Hopefully achieve what you want to achieve with it. Woo, steady. Be able to square off now, it's pretty level. Charge. I'm on the blocks on the side, so I'm going to have a little bit of an issue. Yep. Come on, up you get. Come on. Up you get. No, I'm crabbing sideways, getting stuck on something. There we go. We're free. We're free. I've never been one for building roads, if you followed the very first series, I attempted to fill in some space between some hills, and I massively overestimated how it was going to go. I thought it was going to be like so much easier to do. I thought we were going to get way more dirt than we did, and the distance that I anticipated to go was, well, it was a phenomenally big distance, really. Got dwarfed by the sheer scale of the map. Thought I had all the capability, and at the end of it, we were nowhere close. We were really nowhere close at all. It was a massive failure on my behalf on that one. So, trying to redeem ourselves, I think, with the redemption arc going in. In fact, I wonder what the roller will be like. How that will treat a lot of this stuff. I would like to get one of those, actually. It'll make things, in theory, a little bit more level or smooth. And then arguably there's a grader as well, but I think the graders are still yet to be worked on. So potentially they might be no man's land. So we should just use the things that we know work for sure. The dozer, the front end loaders, excavators, everything's had its tweaks. Don't know about the roller in all fairness, but do feel that it is a pretty good vital piece of gear. So we might look into it just to help us out on this. See where we get to, really. I'm more thinking for the corner, if I'm being brutally honest. I just think the roller will be able to kind of drop that corner down a little bit without losing it so much or being so much of a big slump. So we'll see, and I think that's another 100 and something thousand actually. I'd rather not get another bit of the loan out for that. So I think we're going to get this so far. Nice. And then I'm going to try, potentially, just get back up the top a bit more. Try and give that corner a couple more passes. Give that corner a couple more passes, then should be good. Sweep it around a little bit better. This is actually kind of going in the direction that I wanted it to go. That's amazing. Like I say, the only issue is it's probably not going to be wide enough for anything. Once we start getting the bigger trucks and stuff, should I need to bring them this way at the minute? At the minute I probably don't. But should I need to bring them this way, it's probably going to be too narrow. Hang on, let me see. Tilt that blade. We'll try and get it right. There we go. Burst through. Coolio. Maybe we do need to separate the dirt off so we've got some more dirt to play with down here. Saying that, this should all be dirt anyway on the side of the hills. I could just dig it out. I don't need to do anything fancy. Julio. Julio, come on, back it up, boy. I'm too close to the wall. I can't turn away. I can't break myself away from the wall. Quite annoying. Poor driving. No, nothing new there. There we go. Just heard the sound of a fallen tree, though. I don't know what tree's fallen there. There was no tree. Good. That's better. Almost like it's got purpose to it. Dare I say, it almost seems like we have half an idea what we're doing. Very rare. But I'll take it. Kind of run it down into a little bit of a slope now so that we're getting to the bottom of that vein just to our left. Where the sort of big two trees are. So we're aiming to almost flatten out. Almost. Here we go. There we go, that's better. See, corners start off okay, and then as we get deeper into them, that's when it all goes wrong. Oop. That's it. That's it. And then it's almost like if we got the rollery thing, flattened that out a bit, it'd hopefully smooth out better and it'd know what it's doing. At least that's how my brain's working with it. The problem, I know that trees can usually grow where there's greenery. And obviously, as you can see, the rest of this track thing has a little bit of greenery to it. So we might end up in a little bit of a situation where we spawn in one day and we've got trees everywhere. Which would be less than ideal. But you've got to try and make do with what you get, I guess. If you just push this around a little bit just to get it out of the way. Mainly because I've got to try and get back up here without going too deep into the earth. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to go up and round, if I can, so that I drop down behind it rather than going up. I want to come down from above and push it downhill, so we'll take this thing up and over and round. Try again. Don't really know how I'm going to get it down from here. Everywhere looks a little bit too steep, so I'll probably end up catching the blade and just like slicing a big hole straight through the middle of all the dirt and all the earth. Ooh, we're going to get away with it. Yes, we got away with it. Cool. Just have a look, see what the roller is. 176,000. So we're a little way off of that at the minute. But it's not too bad. All things considered, it's not too bad. Up here we go. Then we'll trundle forwards. Try and take any little bits that stand in the way. And bring it down and round. Come on, turn, 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 turn. Turn, 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 turn. 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 Almost. Almost. Yeah, see now it's all just going to build up. It's going to be quite... Swing round, swing round. Sort of like that, but wider. Don't know if I'm going to get it wider. I'm going to get stuck, aren't I? Doesn't want to turn at all. Yeah, you see, and then we just end up bearing ourselves down, which is what we didn't want to do. And then we're going to go up and over and... Oh, drums. Swing it round. Swing it down. Corners are tricky. Don't mind saying. Corners are tricky. Come on. Push, 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 push. I think, give us the compactor, you know. I think we've got it. It's not horrendous. I'm not saying it's brilliant, but it's not horrendous. Might actually be a little bit steep, but I don't know. I feel it's salvageable. At least drivable. I suppose that would be the next test. Get the wheeled loader and see if we can get around it. How about if we use... So, yeah, then if we just... We could do it with the pickaxe and just flatten things. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I would say, you know, for a sort of first time of that, other than the great big pile behind us, that's okay. Ish. So that's got us set up for the next bit, almost on where we're going. Like, we know we've got to go down there. I'm going to leave this sort of here, so it kind of encourages us not to go and dig there. We can dig all this coal out, try and get all of this out as much as we can. Try and get some money back. We nearly paid off the loan, like I say. Because the way that the loan is nowadays, you can change the severity of those loan payments. I have left mine on default from when the updates come in and paying it back. So I haven't changed anything there. So I think they are some of the lowest though. I think it defaults to being the lowest payments, which is fine by me. I've got myself snookered though. But I am just going to continue to try and dig this. I mean, we've nearly got it, to be fair. Try and dig this coal out and hope for the best. But yeah, summaries, bulldozers are currently overpowered. Front end loaders, you don't seem to get the bucket scoopfuls that you used to get before. Don't know if there is anything in that in terms of its value that you get out of the bucket. Honestly, don't know. Don't know how I'd compare it. Don't know how I'd find out. But I just feel that they're lacking a little bit. Like they need a little bit more power. Like here, it should be able to chew its way through the hill a little bit like it used to. And yeah, give me more scoop in my bucket. I want to have that nice piled high bucket that we used to get before the update. But right now, I don't seem to be able to get good bites on it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. You take it easy, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.